I truly believe that we can all achieve great things with our lives, and there's so much uncertainty in the world right now, so much chaos, and sometimes it doesn't ever feel like there's going to be a resolution to the pandemic or to any of the innumerable other crises that we're facing right now. But that doesn't mean that you can't achieve great things in 2022. And today we're going to talk a little bit about my goal setting process and how I think it can benefit you guys and how it can help you be the person that you want to be in 2022. What's up, everybody? My name is Jake Meyer, and I am a video producer in Oklahoma. I'm totally self-taught, and so this channel is going to be resources for people who are self-taught or people who make things in general. When I was setting my goals at the end of December for 2022, I knew that I wanted to think about my process and why I was setting them the way that I was. So I ended up making 3 different lists, which I totally understand is overkill, but I really think there's validity to each of the lists. So we're going to go through each of them and talk about why I use that and how I think that it can help you guys become the person that you want to be this year. So my first list was specific time-oriented goals. And I'm not talking about at 4:16 a.m. every single day, I will wake up and I will exercise, and then I will eat all of my meals for the day, and I will be ready to go to work at 5:30. That's too specific, and I don't think people are actually going to be able to follow that. But I used a system called the SMART system. You've probably heard of this, and you might have even used it before. But as a refresher, let's go through each of those and why I use that system in particular. So S stands for specific. And like I said earlier, you don't want to get too specific whenever you're making these goals. But what the specific part does is it really forces you to narrow down and eliminate some of the things that you don't want to do. Eat more vegetables. Great idea. But that's not specific enough. Eat a side of vegetables with every meal. That's a lot more specific. The second letter is M for measurable. And measurable is a little bit harder for some creative things because you might want to make your videos better, but how do you actually track whether they're better or not? And that's where measurable comes in because you can assign metrics to things. You can look at the number of views that you're getting. You can look at your follower count, your subscriber count, and measure what your progress is throughout the year. Now, if you can't find a metric that works, what I like to do is I like to assign an arbitrary metric for something. Picking an arbitrary number and just going for that number is a great way to get started with measurable. And then you can reevaluate here in a couple months and figure out, is that actually realistic? Is it not? Which leads me into the next 2, which are achievable and realistic. These 2 go really well together because they force you to sit down and think about what's realistic based on the way your year is going to go or time that you need to spend doing some of your goals. But I think that whenever you pair achievable and realistic with the last letter, which is T for timely, then you are going to be on track to achieving your goals and becoming the person that you want to be this year. I'm a person who works best on deadlines. I need the pressure of a deadline to spur me into gear and to keep going. Even whenever I don't have a specific deadline or I don't have something that someone is asking me to do something by a specific time, I like to set those boundaries myself. And so I think that if you're going to pick any of these 2 of these 5 letters to use whenever you're setting goals, they need to be specific and they need to be timely because those will give you a path to go down, and then you can start making progress from there. The second set of lists that I made was the total opposite of the first set. The second set is not specific, it is not measurable, it is achievable, and it is realistic, but it's not timely. And these are things that I wanted to do more of this year. The second list allows a lot of flexibility. I've already fallen off of some of these goals. I wish that I hadn't, but you know what? That's part of the process for this second list. I want to build healthier habits, and so I made a list of the habits that I wanted to build. Some of those are I wanted to wake up earlier, I wanted to eat more vegetables, and I want to reduce my screen time. Wanting to wake up earlier, well, at the time of recording this, I've woken up at 9:30 every day, and so that's not necessarily earlier from where I wanted to be. But that's a habit that I'm working on building. So this second list is mainly building habits. And then the third list is not really a list at all, but it's a statement of who I want to be this year. I think this third set of goals is really powerful because it gives you something to go back to. When things get hard this year, whenever you face adversity, you're going to have a statement of who you wanted to be and how you wanted to face those challenges. So if you're anything like me, you've probably already fallen off of some of the goals that you set this year. But if you use this system, you're going to have a list of goals that you can achieve throughout the year. You have something you can work towards as you're going through this year, and you have some healthy habits that you want to build. But most importantly, you have a statement of who you want to be. And whenever you look back on 2022, I really think that this can be your best year yet. One of my favorite quotes is that we overestimate what we can do in a day, but we underestimate what we can do in a year. So whenever you're making your lists, shoot for the moon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the goals that you've set this year? Would love to hear some of those and talk to you guys about them later. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Well, 2022 getting off to a hot start. I just filmed this whole video and didn't record any of the audio from my actual microphone. It was just recording in camera. So, yay, let's try this again.